British warships prowl the freezing waters off the Falkland Islands. Their mission: take back the islands from Argentina. But today, the hunters will become the hunted. This is the story of how a handful of A-4 Skyhawks, old outgunned, and nearly out of fuel struck, a blow that shook the Royal Navy to its core. This is forge historic where forgotten battles rise again, and relive the moments that shaped our world. In April 1982, Argentina invaded the Falkland Islands, a remote British colony in the South Atlantic. The response from Britain was swift and decisive. Across 8,000 miles of ocean, a massive task force set sail: carriers, destroyers, frigates armed with state-of-the-art Harrier jets, Sea Dart, and Sea Wolf missiles. For the Argentinians, it was a classic David versus Goliath scenario. Their air force was flying decades-old jets A-4 Skyhawks from the 1950s, aircraft built for another era of warfare. They had no radar-guided missiles, no aerial refueling capabilities. All they had was raw courage, a desperate, unyielding will to fight for their claim.
At the Rio Gallegos Air Base, the mood is tense. The pilots gather in silence around a map, their faces grim.
It's a death trap. The bay is guarded by British radar picket ships, and the skies are crawling with missiles waiting to strike. Carballo's voice is firm but calm as he issues the plan. Muchachos, we fly low, very low. The sea is our friend. Too low for the sophisticated British radar to lock on. But there's a deadly catch: at that altitude, the sea spray hitting their canopies. One wrong move, one lapse in concentration, means instant death. For Skyhawks roll down the runway, their jet turbines screaming. Their fuel tanks are already dangerously low, barely enough for the round trip. They slice through the low clouds at 500 knots, the white caps of the waves almost licking their wings. Over the radio, Carballo's voice is a constant reminder: stay low, stay fast, do not climb. On board the British destroyers, radar operators pick up faint, intermittent echoes: unidentified aircraft inbound and fast. But the Skyhawks are already gone, having vanished beneath the radar horizon, hugging the curve of the earth. They're coming in like ghosts, unseen and unheard until it's too late. Suddenly, they are over San Carlos, bay and all. Hell breaks loose. The air erupts in chaos. The first Skyhawk breaks through the thick smoke, diving straight at the frigate HMS Ardent. Carballo releases his bombs from just 300 feet, pulling up so hard the sea spray splashes against his tail. Seconds later, impact. HMS Ardent erupts in a massive ball of flame. It is the Royal Navy's first major loss of the war, but there's no time to celebrate. The sky is a storm of anti-air fire. Tracer rounds rip past the cockpits with terrifying speed. One Skyhawk takes a direct hit. The pilot ejects, but it's too late. His jet disintegrates and disappears into the cold sea. The very next day, the Argentinians strike again. This time, their targets are HMS Antelope and HMS Broadsword. They use the same terrifying tactics: low, fast, and virtually invisible until the final seconds. Their bombs slam into the ships, some detonating deep beneath the waterline, ripping through steel and igniting catastrophic fires. But as a bomb disposal team works desperately to defuse one, it detonates, sealing the ship's doom. Onlookers on nearby ships watch in horror as HMS Antelope splits in two, a massive mushroom cloud of smoke rising from the bay. For the Argentinians, it's undeniable proof. Even the mightiest navy in the world can bleed. Fuel, weapons, and even essential spare parts are running out. Yet the British fleet still holds a tight grip on the Falklands coast. Captain Carballo volunteers for one last desperate strike. The target, HMS Coventry, a powerful Type 42 destroyer, acting as a radar picket, guarding the approaches to the islands. As they approach the island, the alarms in their cockpits scream to life. Coventry has spotted them. Evade. Evade. Drop low, Carballo orders. Sea Dart missile whooshes past, missing one jet by mere meters. The shockwave is so powerful it nearly flips the Skyhawk into the waves. He can see the ship's deck in stark details, sailors running, guns blazing. He releases two bombs, then pulls up sharply, his wingtip barely missing the ship's mast. Both bombs strike home. Cuvant's Coventry takes a direct hit. The destroyer lists heavily, thick black smoke pouring from her wounded sides. Within minutes, she capsizes and sinks beneath the waves. Some ran out of fuel on the long flight home. Others suffered engine failures over the icy Atlantic. Some simply vanished into the sea, their bodies never found. But their incredible courage fundamentally changed the nature of the war. The British command realized that every flight, every mile gained, was now a desperate fight for survival against a determined and fearless enemy. In the end, Britain would win the Falklands War and reclaim the islands. But the legend of the Skyhawk pilots endured. They flew old, outmatched jets, often half-armed and hopelessly outgunned. Yet their daring strikes sank destroyers, crippled frigates, and shattered the confidence of one of the world's most powerful navies. For Argentina, they became enduring symbols of defiance and national pride. For the rest of the world, they served as a powerful reminder that bravery isn't measured in technology or firepower, but in the hearts of those who dare to fight against impossible odds. If you felt the fire of history, hit that like button, share this story, and subscribe to Forge Historic, because these aren't just stories. They're the echoes of courage that shaped our world.